Hey guys, so Leia and I just got back from our much needed vacation, but of course, I still had to take some tech with me, and I'm glad that I did because the DJI Osmo Action 6 ended up being one of the MVPs of our trip. For context, I have never used an Osmo Action camera before, but this trip showed me exactly why people love it. And now with the Action 6, I think DJI has a game changer that's perfect for the creators of today. There's the new square sensor, variable aperture, which we'll talk about more in a bit, but first let's talk about the look and feel. Now physically, it should be very familiar to Action 5 Pro users, but it is a tiny bit bigger. You'll notice it also has a beefier lens cover, which means that if you're an Action 5 Pro owner, the old filters probably won't fit. I think that this is a bit of a bummer since DJI is usually really good at making sure that their past accessories is compatible with newer products, but I do think that this is worth the trade-off. By the way, I know this isn't new, but I really like the snap-on filter system on the Action 6 because on the Osmo Nano, you do have to screw everything on. Now, if you own a bunch of their magnetic mounts already, don't worry, they're still good. I used mine from the Osmo 360 and there was no issue. I mean, I heard that the magnets fight a little bit on other mounts, but it's a very little issue. Now let's talk about why I loved using the Osmo Action 6, the square sensor, but specifically the new custom aspect ratio that's possible because of the square sensor. It's basically like having open gate on an action camera, but what does that mean? It means you can shoot for both horizontal YouTube videos or your vertical Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts without changing the orientation of the camera because you can just crop it to whatever orientation you need. I made sure to shoot most of our Vietnam adventures using the custom aspect ratio so I could share them for this review and also post them on our personal feeds, so I didn't have to actively think of what was going to make the cut because in one take, you shoot for two formats with zero stress. This feature alone is the reason why I said I think this is the perfect action camera for today's creators. Two things you should note though is that being in the custom aspect ratio will only allow you to shoot up to 60p, while you can go all the way up to 120p with the default. And you're also gonna get black squares on the corner of the screen in the custom aspect ratio as a crop guide, which is very helpful, but you can also turn it off so you have more room to reframe once you start editing. Another thing that I really liked about the Osmo Action 6 is how stable the footage is. You have access to Rocksteady 3.0 and Horizon Steady, and here's a bit of a sample of what both of them look like.
Okay, just wanted to give you guys a quick comparison of the stabilization. I am using the internal mic, so sorry, may mga tricycle at may mga kotse na dumadaan. But this is naka-horizon lock siya, so meaning it will keep the horizon super level up to 45 degrees. Let me switch over to Rocksteady. Okay, so for this one, we're using Rocksteady Plus. So ang difference dito is if I tilt the camera, you will see the horizon. Horizon lock, horizon steady. You should get the point. So for me, this is better for like action shots. If you want to show your viewers the motion, like in the following clip, we were on a speedboat in Halong Bay. I wish that I used Rocksteady instead of Horizon Steady or Horizon Balancing kasi yun, parang hindi mo ramdam masyado kung gaano kabilis yung boat, hindi mo ramdam kung the way that the driver was maneuvering. But so yeah, ako Rocksteady talaga. Let me switch over again to just demo. I forgot to demo like the Horizon Balancing on Horizon Steady and Horizon Balancing, so let me switch to that right now. Okay, so back on Horizon Balancing. So if you notice, kahit na itilt yung camera, it should remain, the horizon should remain steady, right? Kaya nga Horizon Balancing at Horizon Steady, diba? So, up to 45 degrees. I've seen some clips na iniikot pa nila, but 45 degrees compared to kanina on Rocksteady Plus.
It's at this point of the review where I know you might be asking what happens in low light scenarios. This is where the second new feature of the Osmo Action 6 comes into play because it now has a variable aperture of f2 to f4, meaning at f2, This allows for better looking footage in low light scenarios, especially if you're in super night mode. It's still not as crisp as using a mirrorless camera, but for me, it's a huge improvement from action camera footage that I've seen before. And yes, you still have access to 10-bit D-Log-M. There's still internal storage if you're like me who constantly forgets to bring the micro SD card, and it's also compatible with DJI's wireless mic like the DJI Mic Mini. Now let's talk about battery life. The Osmo Action 6 uses the same 1950 mAh battery as its predecessor and the Osmo 360. The longest I was able to record before stopping it was 45 minutes straight, where the battery went from 52% to 16%. So it was more battery life than I was expecting. But I do suggest getting the Adventure combo so you get 2 extra batteries plus the charging case if you plan on vlogging for longer. Did it overheat? Well, it did, but I was using pre-production software, so in 15 minutes of testing in night mode, it did give me a warning, but again, it was pre-production software, which hopefully they have addressed with firmware updates, which they're usually good at doing. So I guess the question is, who is the DJI Osmo Action 6 for? I think I answered that already, but is it worth it? Now, if you're coming from the Osmo Action 5 Pro, I don't think that this is a must upgrade. But if you're a content creator juggling YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the square sensor is a great way to speed up your workflow and genuinely saves your time and mental energy. Again, for the creators of today who have to worry about shooting YouTube videos and then shorts, this is such a great pickup. As for the price, the Adventure combo comes out to $29,990. It includes a selfie stick, 2 extra batteries, and a bunch of mounts. Worth it for those long travel days. But you can also pick up the standard combo for $23,490. Again, such an MVP during our Vietnam vacation. It made me understand why a lot of travel vloggers use the Action lineup, and even more so now with that square sensor, the custom aspect ratio, the variable aperture. It's just so good. And if you think so, there is a YouTube shopping link on the corner of the screen which will take you to DJI's official store on Shopee. But let me know what you guys think. Is the square sensor and everything that DJI added to the Osmo Action lineup worth it? And that's pretty much it for this one. My name is Tito James. Peace, God bless, and I'll see you guys in the next one.